was about 8, I wanted to be an engine driver. It was one of those daydreams, you know. There I was, leaning out of the cab, tearing along at 90, rushing Gordon Richards to the Derby or Dennis Compton to a test match. And if I didn't get to the next signal before the 2:15 express came through, we'd never get there in time. Of course, I always made it, and incidentally breaking the world speed record for trains on the way. Well, that dream faded in favour of scoring the winning goal at Wembley. But after the war, when I had to start thinking about a real job, I had another look at railways. That was 10 years ago, and things were pretty much the way they'd always been. Steam, smoke, dirt and grime. However, I couldn't think of anything else, and I was taken by the idea of travel privileges, so in I went. Since then, a new word has come into railways, and with it a lot of exciting changes. The word is modernisation. That's meant quite a big switch from steam power to electric traction and diesel locos. The romance of the footplate is still there, but alongside it, and taking an increasing share of the load, are two other forces. On one side is the world of volts, ohms, amperes, resistances, dynamos, accumulators, pantographs, and conductor wires. And on the other side, the growing army of diesels, with their multi-cylinders, pistons, big ends, oil pressures, and thousands of revs per minute. When I was at school, our history master was always on about something he called the Renaissance, round about 1400. What it meant was that there'd been a rebirth in learning, building, architecture, painting, and so on. Well, there's a rebirth going on in the railways right now. And as with any kind of birth, the new and the old are right alongside one another, until the new can take over the whole lot. Sometimes you don't see any signs of the new for months, years perhaps. Take a look at goods handling. Take a good look at it. Handling is right. And then, take a look at a modern depot. You won't find so many weary backs here, though you might find the odd case of worn clutch plates or tired batteries. They brought in a system called palletization, because the goods are loaded on pallets, and then these are lifted, carried and stacked by neat little forklift trucks. It's all part of the mechanization that probably started with mobile cranes. And then there's what you might call conveyorization. Of course, there's still a bit of humping, but the point is that someone has to drive the trucks, work the mobile cranes, keep the conveyors going. And if you're mechanically minded, that's not a bad line to be in. Track maintenance, another backbreaker. When I was at the strongman stage, this would have been just the job, where you find the muscle boys. Or it used to be. Not so much now. With prefabricated track and mobile cranes, most of the exercise is in planning and organization. If you like working as a member of a closely coordinated team, you can get a lot of satisfaction out of this job. Still more when you're the gaffer and have to organize it all. Out in the open, what's more. And just look at that twin-jib crane. Fancy the job of handling that? I almost tried a shunter's job in the marshalling yards too. I'm keen on athletics, and you can do more training there, in both senses, than Gordon, Pirrie, Zatopek and Ibbotson rolled into one. Trouble was, it looked a bit dangerous. And it's on the way out anyway. That word, modernisation again. Already in some yards, the whole operation of marshalling trains is controlled from a box, with the operator working in direct radio link with the diesel shunter. It gets more like purple planet Jupiter every day. And they slow the wagons down with sets of mechanical retarders now. You need a good sense of speed and timing to work this efficiently. Modernisation in railways means looking at all the old jobs and seeing where modern engineering and science can be brought in to give them a new look. I'd always thought of signalling in the good old-fashioned way. Until I saw some of the big new all-electric boxes. This one replaces 8 of the old kind and covers 33 miles of track. There's another room alongside this one, full of cables, relays and jumper connections that translate and convey the orders sent from here down to the appropriate lengths of rodding. So that in this box, to set a path, you just turn a series of switches. Out on the track, the signals change, the points move across, and the train goes sweetly on its way. Chestnuts, all hot. Nice warm job on the face of it. But the poor old fireman often does feel like a chestnut out in a barrow in the middle of winter. Roasting on one side, freezing cold and soaked to the skin on the other. Or else in summertime you get so dry you couldn't spit sixpence. On top of which you're half dead, shaking about like a pea in a drum, and having to shovel a ton of coal every 50 miles. A job for Hercules. And yet, if you're a steam loco man, there's hardly any other job like it. It can nearly break a man's heart to have to leave it. Do you know, I've seen some of these loco drivers climbing into a diesel as if it was the grave. Adjustable seats. They couldn't care less. That was no comfort. They looked at the dials and levers like I used to look at my cabbage when Dad used to make me eat it, after it had gone cold. And all those passengers behind, able to watch every move, like driving a school bus. No privacy, no dignity. And then, gradually, I've seen the excitement come back to their faces. It's a different kind of excitement. The way the engine responds to your touch on the lever, the way she picks up. No bucking, scuffling, jerking or snorting, just a smooth, steady pull. A new satisfaction at controlling a sleek bit of 20th century engineering. And slowly but surely, a new sense of friendliness with the passengers. Oh, you can't whack it. And all this is only the beginning of modernization. People are going to see quite a lot of changes in the next 15 years. And the day isn't far off when there'll be quite a few wishing they'd joined in when they had the chance.